Hey, it's Mike with the 61 Beetle again. Like or subscribe, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm working on a couple things today, so the first one, nobody really tells you how these heater, the back heat here, there are these two levers and they rotate on a little pin that goes through here, and this opens and closes the heat. And it goes from the back, or from this gray lever right here. So there's supposed to be these tubes, and what I did, because I looked up and I couldn't find a thing to buy or any information about these tubes, and so mine were cut off here and here as well. So what I did is I still have these rubber bands because I basically cut steel fuel line, and I epoxied it, and I can put a little bit of black paint over this when I'm finishing this off here, because I have to do some black paint anyway, and I epoxied the heck out of it to the side of this as well. And then I drilled a little mini hole, and this is supposed to have a rubber thing on it so that you can do it by hand as well, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the rubber thing is supposed to connect to this. But I made a hole in it, and I did the same thing on the other side. Made a hole in it down there, and now if I do the lever, I'll show you what happens. So I pull the lever, pulls it like that. If I push the lever all the way down, does it like that. And if I look on the other side, push the lever all the way down, and then I pull the lever all the way up, and it's has the exact right range. And now the thing that was interesting about this is, at first I tried to bend this down to go kind of under where this battery bracket is, but that makes it too long, a little bit like a Bowden tube would. So I had to make it straight, and then I had to connect it here to the side of this, and here I had to make it pretty straight, but of course I want to kind of bend it back a little bit so that you're not kicking it. Because this is going to be under the seat, so people's feet are going to hit that if they put the back of their heels under that seat. I'm not sure if that ever happens, but anyway, this is water weld epoxy, like this one here. I had high heat and I had water weld, and so I've used now both of them. This is the remainder of it. And so now that's great. I'm trying to tie up some loose ends. So now I have my my heat lever works. The red one connects underneath to the heater boxes underneath from the engine, and I'm waiting for my two little heater tubes that are going to connect. The motor to the fresh air underneath. So there's that, but then that'll have both of those things will be working. So that's the first step. Second thing that I did, so these things here have to connect to these things here. But since it's a 65 bench on a 61, that bolt actually needs to be up about here. But rather than do that, what I did is I took these bolts and I made these brackets here. So I suppose when I install it, I'll go ahead and show it. But this bracket, let's see, I painted it with some rust reformer black. But basically what has to happen is this bracket has to go in here, and then the seat will connect to it there. So I'm gonna have to get kind of a round bolt that doesn't protrude much from the other side, but that's gonna stick out here, and then the seat will connect to it there. So that's literally about 4 inches off from where the bolt is. Just for anybody who's trying to put a 65 seat into a 61 Beetle, you're gonna have to come up with something like this. That was another surprise. So in any case, those are the two things that I worked on today. I'm going to take out the other thing is I got this stuff because I had punctured holes for this thing here, which was the little L-shaped thing, and I punctured holes in both sides of the back seat, and so I basically wound up having to put a patch on there, and I was really annoyed that I did that, but not much I can do about it now. So that's patched up. It doesn't look much worse than here where I glued it, and this won't be visible. So the last thing I have to do on the bench is there's a rubber strap that goes off of here, and it straps, and then it'll connect back here to some kind of a little there's a little thing, a little nub, and then you pull that strap and connect it onto there. So I'm going to do that. But before I do that, obviously I've got to do the whole interior here. So one of my next steps, I've got to take the two front seats out. Anyway, the front seats are looking good. I'm going to take those two front seats out, and I'm going to put the Silas, this stuff here. I'm going to finish putting this on the, all on here, plus on the floor pans, plus in the front up to where the carpet goes. And then I have another pack of this jute fabric coming. I have some actual fitted carpet pads that are coming. I have to repaint this here where that paint got eaten away, and put the Silas over that, carpet padding over that, and then I can start thinking about my carpet kit here, which I have. So, this is the budget carpet kit, but if you look at this, this is going to be the front carpet. You can see where it really is budget, because it doesn't, certainly not very high quality, but this is going to go there where the pedal mechanism is, I suppose. So, I have the carpet kit. I've got to, get everything prepared and insulated and everything. But one step at a time. So, yeah, that's the progress. I can take off these rubber bands now, because initially it had to be held firmly in place in order to make sure that the tubes stayed in exactly the right spot for those cables to move back and forth. I suppose you could always squirt some WD-40 in there, but anyway, this is connected into the little hole, and then the tip broke off, but it's still in there pretty good. So it moves the levers just fine. So that's the progress on the heat. It's freezing here. Let's see. Okay, that's the progress. Okay, I'm continuing with this work here. So what I've done now is I've sprayed black rust reformer over top of where the brake fluid had eaten through, and now these look really good as far as being prepared for being under the carpet. I've started putting a little bit more of this Silas. I'm going to eventually cover all the back. I took off the seat belts again because I'm going to start on the pillars, so I have to keep in mind these guys here in terms of my seat belts. I want to cover this, except I have to get the those adapters back in there so that I can just do a little slit for my seat belts. So that's the progress here. I suppose I'm going to need to take these seat belts out as well, because I'll have the carpets going over top of that. But so this looks good. I'm going to go and grab the side part of the headliner. I've started sort of bending these out so that I can put this side part of the headliner in, and I have my foam, which I can sort of cut to size. If I look at this, I'm going to use the trick where I use a piece of foam and then I fold it back over and glue it to the side of this after I have it hammered down and clamped in. So that's what I'm going to do now, is go and get the headliner pillar pieces. All right, well, this is my first step, so I'm just going to end the video here, but my first step is I have partially pounded in the headliner here, and of course this is going to get, I have to make sure that I keep my hands clean on this, but this is going to get foam wrapped around here, and obviously these will get all hammered down. I'm just trying to tap it into place, and then this, I'll need to go get the hair dryer. This is going to go around like this, and with a bunch of foam here, this will get glued into place, and that'll be my first piece. My first two pieces will be these pillars, and then I think the next piece after that will be the piece that goes over the rear window there. So I have to take a look and make sure that my headliner has whatever it is that goes into those little slots there. But at least I've got the, I've got the start here with the pillar, with the pillars in, and I'm gonna just go from there. I said I've never done this before, so I really just need to look at a couple of videos online before I start doing this. But from what I've seen, you can use a hair dryer, smooth out these wrinkles, and then put the padding here, glue it in, fold it back over onto the hammered down thing, and then pull this taut, and then I'll use this spray glue, which is the 3M77. This one's empty, so unfortunately I'm waiting for 2 more cans to arrive via Amazon. But as I said, this is decent start here. So waiting for, you can see there's a little more of the rust reformer here is just kind of drying down here, and I kind of was generous down here because some water could collect or something, and I just want to make sure. And then again, my heater, so you can see that is my heater action. When I do this, you can see it on both sides. It pulls it all the way in and out. So happy with that. I need to connect the red one, which is underneath. The red one has the, to connect to these heater boxes here. I have not yet connected those, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. It's so cold here that I can really come outside and do a little something like pound in these things partially. Leave the little space here for the top one. But you can, from this side, you can start to see what this is going to look like with the panel and a headliner fabric. So, all right, I'll go ahead and make the video on that note, and I'll keep progressing tomorrow.